Hey, hey, hey! Good Monday morning, everyone. It's Carolyne Rodrigues here. And oh my God, what's the date? Monday, February the 10th. And I haven't been here in a couple of weeks. I've been traveling and, living life. And oh my goodness, I don't know. Did you guys see the full moon last night? I posted a picture on my Facebook page. It was so bright. And it was so close to the earth. It was almost like I could reach up and touch it. Hey, Casey, how are you? And, I've been reading about this supermoon. It's one of 4 supermoons, and everything's in turmoil right now. So when you set your intention, it's like you're gonna separate out all the bad energies and the good energies. As you set your intention, is gonna show up. So these super moons apparently are happening. And May the 7th, oh my goodness, rock and roll, set your intentions, right, Casey? Anyhow, guys, welcome. If you're tuning in live, I know some of you will be catching this live time, some of you will catch it in replay time, and I always love your interaction and your feedback. So I've been thinking, about this supermoon and the energies and the things that are going on in the earth, and why is there so much turmoil right now? And I just, sitting in deep meditation, came up with this word: ego versus the higher self. And so many of us, hey, myself included, are living in this place of ego, where we're trying to manifest things through the physicality of life instead of surrendering. So I made some notes. I'm going to refer to them because it helps me, stay on point and being that little squirrel person that kind of runs off with thoughts all over the place. So here we go. So the higher self, or ego versus the higher self. The higher self belongs to the non-physical part of you, the spiritual part of you, your subconscious mind, right? Hey, Trisha, nice to see you. I'm going to just say hi to a few people as they come on board. So the subconscious mind, right? I've been studying Bob Proctor and his teachings about separating the conscious versus the subconscious mind. But our ego is attached to the physicality of things, our body, and we're limited by our 5 senses, which is seeing, hearing, feeling, touch, taste, all of those things. So the goal here, as I'm looking at this next few months and setting intentions, hey Sapir, setting intentions and working from the point of view of your higher self rather than your ego. So tapping into vibration, into energy. How do you do that? By practicing meditation and yoga. And you guys, I'm telling you, there's all kinds of stuff out there about meditation, and I used to think I have to sit and do the and free my mind, which runs off in all these different tangents. And I'm learning now to just surrender. And I actually found a great app where somebody is talking to me and telling me what to do, and helping me with my breathing and helping me to tap into that higher self and to calm the waters about the turmoil and the turbulence that's going on in today's world, not just in our political life, but in our personal life, in our communities. I've never seen anything like this. So what do you do? That's my mom. I was just talking to her about this morning, right? The ego, full of limiting beliefs, always focused on fulfilling your own needs, right? Coming from a place of I. The ego will make you believe that you always need more. You need to be more. You need to have more. It's always looking to be fed. It's always taking, right? The higher self, on the other hand, knows that you were brought into this world with everything that you truly will ever need. Our higher self, our vibration, spirituality. We don't need to worry about the material world. And, when I was reading my Bible the other day, and it says, oh my goodness, the birds, I was listening to the birds, they don't worry about where's my next meal coming from. They know that God will provide, right? So when we connect with our higher selves, our mindset becomes calmer, It tends to become more powerful. It tends to become more positive. The self-doubt meter starts to go down. You release shame, doubt, resentment, jealousy, envy, competition, all of those low vibrational energies that the ego is attached to, right? What did she say about me? I got an email today from somebody who was like, I really prefer that you didn't do that. And so my ego self was like, you know what I wanted to say, right? And I just started to think, I just calmed myself down and I said, what would you like me to do, right? So my ego wants to take the lead and tell this person off. Like, who does she think she is? And instead, I'm like, what can I give this woman that will make her feel better, right? And in this sandbox that I play in, it's amazing how, little things in life throw people off. So I thought, I'm not getting into that sandbox, right? So let's look at some concrete differences between these two mindsets. And I'm going to give you some examples. I just kind of always do a little bit of research before coming on here, so that it's not, this is not Carolyn's wisdom. It's things that I find that make sense to me that I want to share with you guys. So I hope this will be of value to you today. So the ego says, I hate when bad things happen to me. Give me a thumbs up if that's you, if you've ever said that, right? I hate. First of all, hate. I hate when bad things happen to me. The higher self, when you can sit in meditation and those bad things are happening to you, is like, I'm grateful for my hardships because they allow me to grow. I'm personally grateful for my failures because it allowed me to create some successes, right? Hey, Christine Doyle. Oh my God, I haven't seen you in ages. So without failure, there is no success, you guys. So if you're in a place of hating when things don't work out, you're going to keep attracting that, right? As opposed to the gratitude. I know it's not easy to say, oh, I'm so grateful that this person was rude to me. No, it's about saying, all right, how can I respond in grace, right? And I know there's bigger things in life than people being mean to you, right? So the higher self knows that every difficult situation that we go through is for our benefit. So when you're in that place of refusing to see, your ego self refuses to see, I'm sure you guys have heard this before, I've heard it before, what's good about this, right? If you're not asking that, you're constantly living in ego, not allowing that higher vibration to give you the answer, right? So without those bad situations, we wouldn't have the opportunity. I wouldn't have the opportunity to develop myself, to broaden my horizons, to learn more, to grow more, to expand my comfort zone, so that the next time it happens, I'm not going to repeat the same mistake, right? So ego is pleasure oriented and values that the values that are determined by your current circumstances, right? And the ego, again, needs and wants to be fed so that the ego always wants to look good. Here's another one. The ego says, I can't endure this suffering anymore. Well, and I've heard this before, God doesn't give you more than you can handle, right? He's always testing me. I'm always being tested. I'm always going to be tested. So your higher self, that spiritual self, that higher vibration is, I have the strength to surmount all things presented to me. And one of the things I say, this too shall pass, right? So it's not a forever thing. So the ego worries about the hardships that I can't overcome this, right? And your higher self is in a place, your higher self is going to get you through that. You came into this world with everything that you need, right? Just remember that the ego experiences anxiety and fear because what happens is we're detached from that higher vibration. What I know is I just go into deep prayer. When things are not going my way, I need to release those thoughts. I want to surrender what isn't working, and I say, take it to the throne, not the phone, right? I'm not going to call up my friend and talk about my other friend. I'm not going to call people and talk about my worries and my woes. I have what I call my tribe of 5, where I can bounce ideas off of, hey, you know what, I'm in this space, it's not nice, it's not great, love to get your perspective on things. And those, my love posse, these 5 people who I trust, who I know will keep this in the vault. I'm not going to be the topic of conversation in their next dinner table talk. These are the people who will give me a perspective and bring me out of the rabbit hole, right? So many of us go down that rabbit hole and we make life miserable for ourselves. So this is another one that I've heard, from time to time. Hey, Carol Waldenberg, I am useless. I'm worthless. I'm no good. I can't do all of those things that, really, look back, you guys, look back. I lost my props. I was going to show you guys something that I use. Hang on a sec. Got my props here with me, and this is one of them, right? And it is, let me just grab this card. It's 10 things. What's great about me, right? So we all need reminding, right? When you go into that place of I'm worthless, I'm no good, I can't do this, she's better than me, she's taller than me, she's prettier than me. So guys, this is what I have. I write things down and I read them, right? I keep things. I mean, I did, where's my little program here? I did, just a minute. I got some new teeth and they're not working. I did a program with a group of people. Hey, Carol, I'm good. And so what we do is we give feedback to each other. And then some people wrote some beautiful things and gave them to me. And I keep this because it's a reminder that as human beings, we're tapped into, she said this about me. Well, okay, I'm going to go read this. She said something really nice about me. So when you get into that place of feeling worthless, feeling useless, feeling whatever, right? How do you get into that higher self? It's by talking to yourself. I am doing my best, and sometimes my best isn't enough. My higher self experience. Hey, listen, my higher self experience is for me taking it to the throne, right? And loving every second of the day, stopping the thoughts about what isn't working and just getting into that place of just, my Apple Watch, it's like my higher self. Every so often it just goes, I get a ding and it says, breathe. Breathe. So I love it because it reminds us, this is what we do. Your body gets into tightness. And when you can breathe, release, relax, that moment too will pass, okay? And that divine self resides in all of us. It's called the I am. I am. Those are statements that God gave to us, right? So there's no need for each of us, for you, for me, to prove ourselves to the world. If we're in touch with our higher self, the only person I'm proving myself to is the man upstairs. Yes, you heard it, right? And so what I know is the material possessions that we try to acquire, Casey, this too shall pass. The things that we try to hang on to, we end up actually losing because that creates that tightness. It creates that tension. It creates that I gotta do stuff. And so when I release and surrender, things will pass, right? So ego is all about worldly recognition. Ego is all about depending on the approval of others. And guys, I'm going to tell you, people are going to let you down. So who do you count on? You count on this stuff. Remind yourself daily, right? So what's the remedy to living in peace, with grace, in harmony, in higher vibration? It's letting go of the ego, letting go of my ego, letting go of your ego. It's me quitting trying to fan your ego so you feel better. Those are all things of the world. The only thing that we can truly accept is when we can be at peace with ourselves. And when we can sit in what's happening to us and be okay with what's happening to us right now and stop. And I'm telling you what I do, you guys. I'm not telling you to stop anything. And stop. When we talk about it, we elevate it, we make it bigger. And geez, I don't know. That doesn't work for me anymore. It used to, right? That's all about me being wrapped up in my ego. Because here's what I know. There's gonna be suffering in the world. There's gonna be difficulties in the world. There's gonna be issues that keep coming up in your life that are like, oh, how did that happen? Right? That just happened to me. Well, guess what? The more you think about the stuff that isn't working, it's coming back. It's coming back. And I'm like, I don't want that junk in my life anymore, right? Whatever that is, right? So there's no escaping it. If things keep showing up, it means you're thinking about it. When you're thinking about it, you're going to get more of that. So the difference is all in our perspective of how we handle the CRAP that keeps showing up. The ego is the culprit because the ego needs to be constantly fed, you guys. And who wants to live in that place? Realize that you are more than your earthly body and acknowledge this universal truth that we've known since our childhood, that we're indestructible. We're amazing human beings. And in our childhood, we used to dream big things. There were no limiting beliefs. We wanted the world. Like as a kid, like you ask a little kid, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a teacher. I want to be an actor, right? What happened to that? Right? What happens to us is that we start to believe our external circumstances that control our ability to be and do those things that we thought about when we were kids, right? Our surroundings, our limiting beliefs about lack, the people, who's in your posse, who's around you. What are those people telling you? Are they raising you up, or are they, feeding you stuff that doesn't work? And I'm not talking about being inauthentic, you guys. I'm talking about being real. And our pastor at church the other day was demonstrating this, right? And he said, what happened to us? And actually it was on the Oscars last night. I was watching that. The different directors who, it was a Google sponsored piece where these directors who've been very successful shared who impacted their lives, the one person that impacted their lives. And I remember James Cameron saying his teacher, when he was 14, told him he was incredibly talented and he could do whatever he wanted. And he's like, wow, at 14, do we tell our kids that? No. We're always telling them, be careful, be safe, watch out for strangers, don't cross the street, all that garbage that goes into our head, right? So what do you do? And I want you guys to think back, because I wrote this little checklist here. Actually, this is a checklist for me that I want to share with you. So do a checklist of your current circumstances and ask yourself, when was the last time you went through this adversity? How did you handle it the last time? What did you do to make things better? What didn't you do that made things worse? What do you wish you had done that maybe would have curbed some of the garbage that you went through, right? Because trust me, when I look back on my 65 years of living, I know there were some things that I went through that, gosh, I just complained all the way through. And there were other things I'm like, oh, I'm not dealing with this and I'm just moving on, right? So do that little mental checklist and you'll soon find out. And I'm going to give you an example, right? I remember trying out for the cheerleading squad, right? Like, I was not one of those influencer type of girls in high school. I had bad teeth. My hair was out to here. I was 5'2". I had brown skin. All the girls in the cheerleading squad were, 5'6", blonde hair, long blonde hair, blue eyes, beautiful, long legs. And along comes Carolyne. Like, really, Carolyne? You think you're gonna infiltrate that crowd? And guys, I had one teacher. I won't forget him. Chokes me up when I think about it. Mr. Minty. And I was lousy in math. He was my math teacher. I was flunking math. And he'd say, Carolyne, come in after class. I'm going to help you because I know you can do this. And when he was helping me, he said to me, why don't you try out for the cheerleading squad? And I'm like, are you out of your mind? Like, really not. I'm just not one of those girls. And he said, you come out and you try out. And I didn't know he was one of the judges. Well, guys, oh my goodness, this little brown skin girl with big hair. If I showed you my pictures, it's like, really? And he poured that belief into me. And I went. I had the courage to go, and I tried out for that cheerleading squad. And, I made the squad. Maybe it was because of him. I don't know. He gave me a chance. And that year, we won our school cheerleading championship. We were the North York champions, and I have that picture in my little skirt, like, and the pom-poms. And so look back on your life and how you handled adversity and how you transcended that, and how did you do it gracefully, and how did you do it badly, and how can you, use that as leverage, use that as knowledge to say, hey, you know what? I want peace, I want ease, I want grace. And guess what, you guys? As you look back, you'll see you survived. You survived because you're here. Some of you are listening to this in real time, and some of you are listening to it in replay time. You survived. So I ask myself, hey, Miss Natasha, I talk to myself, and you guys get to listen. This is what I ask myself. How can I make my life more enjoyable in spite of the stuff that's happening that I don't like, that I didn't invite in, and that I have to deal with, right? Because we all have to deal with CRAP, right? Here's the answer. Who wants to know the answer? Give me a thumbs up if you want to know the answer. At least one of you. Here's the answer. This is what works for me. Just be happy. Yes, just be happy. And some of you may be saying, easy for you, Carolyne. I'm telling you guys, when I get into that place where I'm all like funked out, I have to physically go to the mirror, and literally do this, and literally smile at myself. And that just changes things. So, ego or your higher self? What kind of life do you want to live? And I said this year, one of the things for me is I just want ease and peace. I don't want anybody kinking my hose. So how do I unkink my own hose? Just be happy. So that's all I have to share for you today. If you have enjoyed any part of this, you're listening to it in real time or live time, hit hashtag replay. Tell me what you're getting out of this. Feel free to share this as if you're in a group where you feel this message will be of benefit and people are finding themselves in turmoil and don't know how to get out of it. And by all means, connect with me on my website, CarolynRodrigues.com, CarolYne, Rodrigues with an S, Rodrigues, CarolynRodrigues.com. I'd love to chat with you, and I will see you back here next Monday. Bye-bye. Have an amazing day.